Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
I thought you'd never ask, Heidi. Today is Monday, the 8th day of May, World Ovarian Cancer Day today, International Thalassemia Day. I'm not sure what that is. I'll look that up. World Red Cross Day, Time of Remembrance and Reconciliation Day, National Student Nurse Day, National Women's Checkup Day, National Have a Coke Day, and National Coconut Cream Pie Day. You know who's a fan of that?
I love coconut cream pie.
I do. And this Thalassemia Day, which I'm probably saying wrong, a day to create awareness to honor the struggle of patients suffering from the disease. Okay. It's an inherited blood disorder. See, I didn't even know. I'm glad they have this day. Now we know. We all learned together. I think that's nice. You know what else is nice?
What's nice?
It's a Movie Star Monday, and I've got not one but two guests, Kevin Heffernan and Steve Lemme. We've had them on the program in the past. They've been in a bunch of stuff. Super Troopers, probably the most popular.
Oh, yeah.
And then Super Troopers 2. Well, they've got a new thing out called QUASI. We're going to chat all about that coming up.
What a year. With prices on everything going up, it's more important than ever to have a better credit card. Some people use a credit card that's not a very good one. At bettercreditcards.com, we offer a variety of credit card options to fit your needs. Whether you want a card to give you cash back or points and perks, or a credit card to help you build your credit, we probably have it at bettercreditcards.com. Give yourself a little credit. Bettercreditcards.com. That's bettercreditcards.com.
Now, surveys and studies and such brought to you by bettercreditcards.com. A new poll found 1 in 6 people do not know their next door neighbor's name. Heidi, do you know our neighbors' names?
Yes.
You do. Next
I
door. Both sides. We know them both. But if we go 2 doors down, we know in one direction, but 2 doors down the other direction, we don't know. So we need to.
But
we
we
need
just
to get
moved
out.
in, too,
yeah,
to be
we're
fair.
still new in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
And new research shows that TikTok has both positive and negative impacts on users' mental health. A study by the University of Minnesota says the platform provides a sense of community and self-discovery, but it also repeatedly exposes users to harmful content. By the way, that content is created by other users, just so you know. TikTok is run by a recommendation system, and it's displayed for you on a page for you. Instead of showing users post accounts that they follow, they put things in there that they think that you might like.
Yeah.
This personalized approach is helpful for some, but positive content for some things are good. But there's also some negative things like loneliness that can come from that. And some users say they go down a rabbit hole, and it can lead to, distressing, triggering things.
Hours on the internet, too, like where you're not doing productive things.
What are you pointing at me for? Surveys and studies and such brought to you by bettercreditcards.com.
Did you know you can allocate a percentage of your IRA to physical gold and silver with a tax-free rollover? You can put your IRA back on the gold standard. Genesis Gold IRA is the only IRA that can hold physical precious metals. Call now for your free gold and silver report and learn how to qualify for up to $10,000 in free silver. GenesisGoldIRA.com would like to help protect your IRA today with a simple phone call. Learn more and get the phone number at GenesisGoldIRA.com. That's GenesisGoldIRA.com.
Did you know? Brought to you by GenesisGoldIRA.com. Heidi, did you know even worms get the munchies from marijuana? Cannabis has a reputation for causing users to crave tasty, high-calorie food. Now researchers at the University of Oregon determined that worms experience cravings or munchies when they're encountering the chemical compound in marijuana as well. The report, published in the Journal of Current Biology, says, in part, upon cannabinoid exposure, the worm becomes more sensitive to favored food odors and less sensitive to non-favored food odors. This explains the changes in a worm's consumption of food, and it's reminiscent of how THC makes tasty food even tastier in humans. So here's what this really is. This is somebody who had
I know what you're going to say.
A government grant.
Yeah.
And they're like, okay, you got this money. What are you going to study? They're like, I don't know, something to do with drugs. Has anybody ever got a worm high before? That's what this is.
Yeah.
We don't know everything, but now we know this.
John and Heidi.
Now, big screen, little screen, brought to you by InsuranceChicken.com. After 3 decades, Nintendo has decided to change the name of one of their controversial villains from Super Mario Brothers. The character's name has been Blackie, and they're changing the name now to Spike. So that's going to be happening. Harrison Ford says the upcoming Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny will mark his final outing as a globe-trotting archaeologist. which means fans should
Isn't
not expect.
that a sad end to an amazing film?
Why is it a sad end?
I mean, it's just that he's going
It's
away.
sad that it's gonna
really
end.
sad, because it was so great. I loved those.
So he's
movies.
saying don't expect to see him in the TV series that they're working on right now. 96th annual Oscars will be held Sunday, March 10th of next year, and they announced that ABC is going to be the ones that'll show it. And ABC has also been making a lot of renewals, including the drama Will Trent, medical drama The Good Doctor, most recently Station 19. But the only fall series, Alaska Daily, may be heading to cancellation. So there's some other stuff if you want to read it. It's in the show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com.
How much do you pay for your cell phone every month? If it's more than $15, it's time for a Mintervention. Mint Mobile makes it affordable and easy to switch. Get a new phone or bring in your current phone. iPhones and Samsung phones both work well with Mint Mobile. At Mintervention.com, you can see the current special offers from Mint Mobile, offering premium wireless for just $15 a month. That's far less than most people are paying, just $15 a month. Learn more now at Mintervention.com. That's Mintervention.com.
Now your scoop of the day comes your way, courtesy of BetterCreditCards.com. Kim Kardashian, her friends call her Kimmy K. That's what she tells me to call her, Kimmy K. She doesn't really. She doesn't
Only
know.
her
I don't know
closest
her.
friends would know that.
Yeah, her closest. We're tight. No, we're not. Kim Kardashian says she would never use privilege to get her kids into college. She wouldn't need to. They can afford to just pay the tuition. It's not like they need to get a,
But you still have to be accepted.
Although, if you're going to pay the money, you're not expecting a scholarship. Is that
You still have to get accepted to those schools.
Really?
It's not for a scholarship. You still
I
have
don't
to
know.
be accepted to. Yeah.
Here's the
you
thing.
wouldn't know. We did not go to a prestigious college.
I've never been accepted anywhere. I'm not even accepted here. I walk in there like, seriously? You just keep coming back. What are you doing here? All right. A so-called name expert who helps parents pick their children's names. What
Why
a job.
would you need help
I
with
don't know.
that?
Says an upcoming trend includes gender-neutral monikers and using last names for first names, like Colleen Slagan is her name. She started offering parents consultations on names following a lifelong obsession with baby names. She now gets up to 5 requests a day for naming assistance. She charges $150 to $250 for her expertise. She feels that name trends in the U.S. for 2023 will include surnames like Sutton, Miller, and Brooke. Those will all be first names, by the way. Some go-to tips for people searching for the perfect name include look at what retailers name their products. What? Use public records to see how common a name is before you stick with one. Look at a baby-focused company that names products after kids. Slagan also suggests observing what others are naming their children or observing social media or discussion boards for ideas. Other trends that have been noticed with girls, we're seeing a lot of feminine vintage names like Margot or Eloise. With boys, parents are keener to have nicknameable names like August, which can be shortened to Augie. Or Gus. I want that
Or
job.
you could just name your child
Yeah.
what you
Yeah.
would like to name your
Yeah.
child
There you go.
and not worry about what everybody else thinks.
I like that. Name it something normal, please. Scoop of the day comes your way courtesy of BetterCreditCards.com.
InsuranceChicken.com wants to know, how much are you paying for your insurance? I know it seems like a hassle to switch to a different company, but if you can save a few bucks, it's worth crossing the road to InsuranceChicken.com. We have several of the top insurance companies trying to earn your business. They do that by offering great insurance that is cheap. Okay, enough of the silly chicken puns. It's time to get serious about saving you money on your insurance at InsuranceChicken.com. That's InsuranceChicken.com.
Thank you for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Movie Star Monday. Excited to welcome these two guys back to the program. We've talked to them in the past, Kevin Heffernan and Steve Lemme. They've got Super Troopers, Super Troopers 2. They've got Beer Fest. They've got Tacoma FD. They've got a whole bunch of amazing fun projects that they've done, and they've got a new one out right now, QUASI. Kevin, let's start with you. Tell me a little bit about the new movie, QUASI.
Well, it's our little spin on the Quasimodo story. It's about this kind of like lovable loser in medieval France, and he finds himself in a bit of a conflict between the two most powerful guys in his world, the Pope and the King. He's trying to get himself out of it, but at the same time, he's fallen in love with the Queen. So it's kind of a little love story in there as well.
And Steve, where did this idea come from as you guys were working on this? Whose idea was it to do QUASI?
The character came from this guy that I was working with. My first job out of college was at a record store. There was this guy that spoke out of the side of his mouth. he was very, very lonely and forlorn, and may have even been a virgin. I don't know, but he would complain about his love life. I would go back to our Broken Lizard hangouts, and we'd riff on this guy and laugh about him, and we started to build him into the centerpiece of the story. And we made him a hunchback, and then we set the movie in medieval France, and then we stuck him into this plot. Kevin was saying he's caught in a feud between the king and the pope, and then we made him a virgin, and figured we'd just stack the deck against this guy and rise him to glory. And so that was, we wrote this thing back when we wrote Super Troopers back in the 90s. And so this has been a long time. We're proud of it.
And since Super Troopers and Super Troopers 2, you've done Tacoma FD, you've done all kinds of other fun stuff. And now we've got QUASI just finally coming out. So, Kevin, why did it take so long? If you wrote it way back then, why did it take so long for this to come to fruition?
Well, nobody would give us the money to make a period piece.
Okay.
Nobody wanted to do that. We went down this road of and then people want more of that kind of stuff in the cop world, and this kind of sillier, more out there stuff kind of fell to the wayside. And it takes the getting momentum. So Super Troopers 2 coming out and making a lot of money for the studio was the thing that kind of allowed us to get permission to make this movie. So we would have loved to have done it a long time ago. But.
And it's amazing how that works. When you make them millions of dollars, it's all like, hey, I'll take your calls now, right?
Yeah. They were like, you want to make Super Troopers 3? And we're like, well, how about we make this period piece set medieval France? What do you think about that? And they fell for it.
Nice. You tricked him into it.
We did. With Surfside, all you have to do is say period piece, and they're going to greenlight your movie.
Nice. Well, let's talk a little bit about what the movie. We talked 10 about what the movie is about. Is this like a one and done, or do you think maybe there could be a QUASI 2, or am I getting way too far ahead of myself here, Steve?
Well, it's funny because we've actually got, we would never rule out a sequel to anything, but we've got a bunch of these scripts laying around. We were influenced by Monty Python, and so our first sketch shows, like we did a sketch about, set in ancient Greece, and we wrote a feature script about that we have laying around. We have a script about, Santa Claus and the Easter Bunny, like really out there stuff. And of course, and those scripts are written, but then we've got, we're writing Super Troopers 3 now, and we want to do a sequel to Beer Fest, which is Pot Fest, which people have been clamoring for a while. But so, I think QUASI has really kicked the door wide open for us in terms of, we're branching out into a direction, we haven't gone before. And we're showing people that we have a lot of stretch to our muscle. Can you say that?
I think anymore? So. I'm pretty sure. I think you can.
Yeah, we want to do a lot of things.
And Kevin, now when you guys were working on this project, with it being a period piece, how different is that than when you're doing like Beer Fest or when you're doing, Super Troopers or one of the other projects?
It's different. You have to take a lot of things into consideration. Now, honestly, we are not super loyal or, to the exact history of things. But what you do is you bring other people in and your production designer, your wardrobe person, your makeup person, and they very much love to play in this world. It's a great sandbox for them, and so they kind of make it fun in a way that we would sit on the set and we'd be in these king robes and whatever, and look at each other and be like, I can't believe we're doing this. We're using our cop uniforms or our firefighter uniforms, and it was just a blast to be able to play this game.
Well, guys, thank you so much for your time today. I appreciate it a bunch.
Thank you so much.
Again, Kevin Heffernan and Steve Lemme and their new project that's out right now from Hulu and Searchlight. It's called QUASI. I've got a link to the trailer in the show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com.
What a year. With prices on everything going up, it's more important than ever to have a better credit card. Some people use a credit card that's not a very good one. At bettercreditcards.com, we offer a variety of credit card options to fit your needs. Whether you want a card to give you cash back or points and perks, or a credit card to help you build your credit, we probably have it at bettercreditcards.com. Give yourself a little credit. Bettercreditcards.com. That's bettercreditcards.com.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Dessert stomach is a real thing. Your gut expands upon contracting with sugar, making room for dessert, even after you have the feeling of being full.
Yeah.
So you get full.
You're like, sure, I got room for that.
And then you get it and you're like, I don't have room for that. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
King Charles and Prince William never travel in the same place. That's because if there's a crash, one needs to survive.
Right.
Never thought of that, but I suppose. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Brass objects, including doorknobs, sterilize themselves after about 8 hours because bacteria finds it hard to survive on brass.
Well, that's interesting.
That's very interesting. And our final fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
15 minutes of shivering from cold temperatures can be the metabolic equivalent of 1 hour of exercise. Oh my goodness, I've got a new workout routine.
Now you should be thrilled that I keep the bedroom as cold as I do.
She does.
You're welcome.
Yeah, and she's got like 3 fans going. I'm sleeping in a wind tunnel, is what I'm saying. All right, several fun facts. Now you know. Thanks for listening to The John and Heidi Show.
Did you know you can allocate a percentage of your IRA to physical gold and silver with a tax-free rollover? You can put your IRA back on the gold standard. Genesis Gold IRA is the only IRA that can hold physical precious metals. Call now for your free gold and silver report and learn how to qualify for up to $10,000 in free silver. GenesisGoldIRA.com would like to help protect your IRA today with a simple phone call. Learn more and get the phone number at GenesisGoldIRA.com. That's GenesisGoldIRA.com.
Time now for the Mint Mobile question of the day. It comes your way courtesy of Mintervention.com. Question for you, Heidi.
Yes.
22% of people on spring break have had to buy this while on vacation. What is it? 22%. That's a big number. They've had to buy?
A new toothbrush.
No, underwear. They've been like, I'm fresh out of underwear. It's been one heck of a spring break. Mint Mobile question of the day comes your way courtesy of Mintervention.com.
How much do you pay for your cell phone every month? If it's more than $15, it's time for a Mintervention. Mint Mobile makes it affordable and easy to switch. Get a new phone or bring in your current phone. iPhones and Samsung phones both work well with Mint Mobile. At Mintervention.com, you can see the current special offers from Mint Mobile, offering premium wireless for just $15 a month. That's far less than most people are paying, just $15 a month. Learn more now at Mintervention.com. That's Mintervention.com.
Now, some weird news brought to you by WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com. A Dutch court has banned a man from donating any more sperm after he's fathered at least 550 children in the Netherlands and other countries.
What do they care?
And he's misled prospective parents about the number of offspring he's helped conceive.
Well, I don't understand what difference that makes.
Because there's a lot of relatives of his and are concerned that, now I could be dating my sister, my brother, my whatever.
I get that.
The donor, identified as Jonathan M., provided to several Dutch fertility clinics and to a clinic in Denmark as well. He's been a busy guy. And many other places that he's connected with through ads and online forums. The court noted that under Dutch guidelines, donors are allowed to produce a maximum of 25 children with 12 mothers. Again, he's at 550.
Jeez.
He's been a very, very busy man.
Wasn't there a Vince Vaughn movie?
There was. It was a great movie, by the way.
Yeah, it
great
was.
movie. If you haven't seen it, I encourage. I don't know what it's called.
I
but
can't remember what it was called
really,
either. It was
really good.
Really
movie.
good.
All right. Weird News brought to you by WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com.
John and Heidi.
Time now for the list, brought to you by BetterCreditCards.com. Things I should have known. Reddit users talk about common knowledge they didn't know about until late in life, like this. There's no such thing as feeling like an adult. I'm 34 and I still forget I'm an adult sometimes. And he goes, I didn't realize everybody's just winging it. Another one. HR is there to protect the company, not you. HR is not your friend. They're like, I didn't realize that. And I'm like, wait a minute. Who's looking out for me? Nobody.
Nobody
is.
Look out for yourself.
Another thing. Just because two people are in love doesn't mean that they should be together.
That is true.
I've seen that too, where there's people that they love each other, but I'm like, you guys just
This is
not
such
a
a
good
bad
fit.
idea. Yeah.
I learned that my height shapes how people perceive me. I'm 6'4" with a deep voice. I learned that at 40, I had a boss who was 6'6". I was suddenly aware of my own height and my power position looking up to him. Never really thought about that, but I suppose.
Okay.
Another one. The rules do not apply evenly. Yeah, that's something that you learn as well.
That is true.
There's other things on the list as well if you want to read it all. It's in the show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com.
InsuranceChicken.com wants to know, how much are you paying for your insurance? I know it seems like a hassle to switch to a different company, but if you can save a few bucks, it's worth crossing the road to InsuranceChicken.com. We have several of the top insurance companies trying to earn your business. They do that by offering great insurance that is cheap, cheap, cheap. Okay, enough of the silly chicken puns. It's time to get serious about saving you money on your insurance at InsuranceChicken.com. That's InsuranceChicken.com.
Time now for the quote of the day. It comes your way, courtesy of InsuranceChicken.com. Quote is from Anton Chekhov, who says, "Doctors are just the same as lawyers. The only difference is lawyers merely rob you, where doctors rob you and kill you too." Wow.
Whoa.
That is not very nice.
Somebody had a bad experience.
Yeah. Having a bad day there, Anton. Wow. Quote of the day comes your way, courtesy of InsuranceChicken.com.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by the John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying the John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to johnandheidishow.com. Again, johnandheidishow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
We always like to wrap things up around here with good news, and I think this is good news. Comes your way courtesy of GenesisGoldIRA.com. I love this headline. Community goes above and beyond to send special needs students to prom. So there's some special needs teens at Washington High School in North Carolina that were able to attend their prom thanks to an outpouring of love from the community. I love this. Parents posted on Facebook the idea to send this class to prom, and donations came pouring in to help fund their prom attire, their dinner, their transportation. It says there's no words for this. This is a blessing and a dream come true, said Patty Smith, a proud parent of her son with special needs. She said, I want him to know that he doesn't have to be excluded. He's just the same as everyone else. And really, everybody had fun, it sounds like. The limo drove out to the Washington Yacht and Country Club. Community members and loved ones sent off their prom participants with signs and with sparklers. And they've got a video on here if you'd like to see it. A local TV station showed up and recorded all of this. And there's photos. And it looks like they had a blast.
Oh, I bet they did.
I think this is really, really cool. And I love the fact that they got to be a part of this. And again, if you'd like to read all about it, there's a link in the show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com. Do you remember going to prom? Was that like a big thing for you?
Oh, yeah, I remember.
Was
the
that
first part of prom?
Do you see? I remember prom, but you know what? It's like a very blurry memory to me, but it's not because of, doing something like Heidi's talking about. I just, in the grand scheme of things in my life, I'm not going to say that wasn't important, but that wasn't the most important thing. I remember our wedding. I remember when our daughter was born. I remember when, I adopted Troy. I remember a lot of the amazing milestones in my life. If I was going to list 20 things, prom wouldn't even make the list.
Oh, no, for sure. Not for me either.
But I also, at that age,
right.
It's a big deal.
At that age, it was a huge
So I'm
deal.
really glad that they got to go do this. And again, in the grand scheme of things, you're going to look back and go, it was a cool night, but is it the top 10 list? Probably not. But at that age, definitely top 10 list. All right. Thanks for listening. Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Monday.